action is withdrawn. We are in active and ongoing discussions with provinces and territories to pursue several non-tariff measures as well.
I think multiple things can be true. Number one, I do think it's about immigration and fentanyl. The president's been clear about that from the beginning and has never wavered from it. Number two, he does like tariffs for economic reasons. And I would just say to Canada, we mean more to them than they mean to us. We're a much larger part of their economy than they are ours. And number three, there's some evidence that this tariff business is working. You've got the Honda moving a plant to Indiana. You get the big chip deal for Arizona today. There's been over $1 trillion in announced investments by the Trump administration since he took office. People apparently responding to this idea that, hey, manufacturing things in the United States might be the way to go. So I'm going to see how it plays out. But I do think multiple things can be true. Immigration and fentanyl, terrible problem. Also, the economic benefits of it appear to be emerging.
Well, look, some of these fictitious numbers that they put on the website, according to the New York Times.
Republicans absolutely voted for this.
Okay, people do not want government waste, that's for sure. But they didn't vote for foresters to get fired.
Look,
they didn't vote for the parks to be closed.
Look, you guys,
veterans to be fired.
You guys keep trying to create this fantasy land where Donald Trump is not popular, where Republicans are mad.
Republicans are mad. They shut down the town halls.
Can you name a single Democrat in Congress who's more popular than Donald Trump right now?
Listen,
Answer, no.
Scott,
the reality is Republicans are so happy with this. They're not upset about it.
No, they
The
are.
American people are happy about what's going on right now because for the first time in a long time, a president said,
Scott,
I'm actually going to reduce the size of
Why?
Another day, another reason why Democrats are so widely unpopular. As you saw from the intro, Trump is supposed to either announce tariffs today. There's a lot of stuff going on. I think he's supposed to have a joint address. I'm not so sure, but if it does come out, I'll react to that. You'll have a commentary video on that where Trump starts talking about some of his accomplishments. As you saw, manufacturing is coming back here. Honda announced that they're going to start building cars in Indiana, which will bring a lot of manufacturing jobs back. And yes, some liberals are going to cry and complain that, oh no, this is going to take a long time before stuff like this. We feel the effects of stuff like this. And I'm like, yo, so what? This is not about proving some agenda. This is about leaving off America better off or setting up America better off than how Trump found it. And recently, the Democrats decided not to pass or help pass the Protect Women and Girls Sports Act. After every Democrat backs men in sports. And then another reason why Democrats are wildly unpopular, Democrat governor wants to replace the word mother with inseminated person. Yo. Hey, Democrats, y'all worked hard to earn your unfavorability rating, man. Y'all worked hard to earn your unfavorability rating. Yeah, like this is wild. It's at 21 now, but this is wild. And you see why Scott Jennings come out and said that Donald Trump by himself is more popular than the entire Democratic Party. Here's a recent study that came from Oxford Journal of Sexual Medicine, sampling 100,000 patients, found that sex change surgery doubled depression rates among gender dysphoria individuals rather than to reduce them. I know this is the biggest water is wet moment. Anyone with common sense can tell you that if you do something to portray reality, for instance, if I think I'm Superman and I did surgeries to make myself look white, put the Superman curl and all this stuff, it'll make me more depressed because I'll know this is not reality. This is not real. Males who underwent surgery had a depression rate of 25.4% compared to 11.5% in those who did not have surgery. AKA gender affirming care does more harm than good. Yet Democrats are continuously advocating against banning gender affirming care. Make it make sense, guys. Likewise, females who went undergo surgery had a depression rate of 22.9% compared to 14% in those who did not. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I already said this before. How conservatives believe in addressing gender dysphoria is through like getting the person to accept the reality that they're not the opposite gender. But this is the funny part about Democrats. This is what I'm talking about when what made me a conservative is not focusing on the intentions of a policy, but the results of a policy. The results are in mandating a surgery that increased depression rates in the individual that you claim that is supposed to help. Oh my God, children need this care. Right. Children need a procedure that's going to increase their depression, not decrease their depression. Make it make sense, liberal. Oh my God, tariffs are going to destroy the economy. Look at Trump's tariffs. Tariffs is an incentive structure. Trump is trying to create an incentive structure where people invest and build in United States of America, not outside of the United States of America. This is why he's threatening to do reciprocal tariffs to European Union, because they tariff us. Like when we send cars, American cars and all this stuff, they tariff it damn near 100%. But, enough of me talking. Here's White House Secretary Caroline Levitt, talking about Trump's investment and his soaring popularity. Let's take a look.
Caroline Levitt, I heard through the grapevine that you made $100 million from Taiwan Semiconductor. Tremendous investment. I know the company well, and I remember we had them relocate into the United States in the first term. $100 million isn't bad, Caroline Levitt.
$100 billion, Larry. Don't underestimate the numbers.
Did I say million?
Billion
$100 billion. I'm sorry.
$100 billion with a B, and it's going to create 20 to 25,000 good-paying jobs at least. They are going to create a new manufacturing facility in the great state of Arizona. They are going to produce chips right here in the United States of America, which is not going to just create more jobs. It's also going to protect America's national security. As we know, chips are so important to our manufacturing industry. So it's a great day for the American public. And this racks up the total of foreign investments brought back home to $1.7 trillion in 1 month since President Trump took office. It took Joe Biden 4 years to get $1 trillion in private investments secured. So President Trump has already surpassed what Joe Biden did in 4 years in 1 month. And that's why he's the greatest president we've ever had. And America is open for business, and the world knows it.
Yeah, so Caroline going out here doing her job, all right? I'm just saying that. Remember when Biden and Democrats said they didn't need a border bill to secure the border? Trump did this in 4 weeks. The rate of people crossing the border, look at it. Over 100,000, over 100,000, over 100,000, only 8,000. Wow. If the Democrats wanted to, they would. They didn't. Trump's securing investments, border crossings is going down. Trump is trying to negotiate peace, while Democrats want war. He's trying to do something about the economy. If you look at the attentions, for instance, the bird flu stuff, Joe Biden decided, hey, let's kill all these birds that's sick with this flu. And then egg prices go up. Why? Supply and demand. Then when you snapshot this, Democrats will sit here and say, oh my God, look at the prices are up under Trump, prices are up, but they don't tell you what caused it. What's the cause? Cause and effect, y'all. Cause and effect. Liberals in Manhattan are protesting Donald Trump's trying to end the war, but they don't have a plan to end the war. Like, what plan do they have? And this is what leads me to Democrats almost in a way. The idealism of the left is a very selfish one. In their war against the rich and big business, they don't care how much collateral damage there is to workers who end up unemployed. I'll say that with the Ukraine. They have a very selfish goal that they want this war against Russia. And they don't care how much collateral damage there is to the people who end up dead. And this is where liberals can't seem to understand. And this is the American sentiment on the right, on the conservative end, right? I go back to this chart again. Look how much money we spend. We spend 70%. We account for 70% of the defense spending for NATO. Yet they have the goal to call us petty and wrong, for withdrawing or freezing military aid to Ukraine when their people don't even support further support for Ukraine. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But I didn't want to do this. This wasn't going to be a long video, but there's another reason why Democrats get caught. Hakeem Jeffries was asked to provide evidence of GOP cut to Medicare. His answer was a train wreck. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries has the same problem many Democrats have right now. He can deliver the talking points, but when pressed, he collapsed into a fumbling mess. It was a marvel to witness. The New York Democrat was doing his part trying to gen up fear about the budget reconciliation process, which cleared its first hurdle this week. Speaker Johnson got all but one de facto Republican back on board, which was enough to pass a resolution with 217 to 213 vote. Imagine. But with the women's bill, every Democrat went against it. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is so ridiculous from the Democrats. Let's see what they say.
Republicans have been very adamant that Medicaid will not be gutted by this budget resolution. Where or what is the proof that Medicaid will be gutted by it, if there is any?
Republicans are lying to the American people.
What you're about to witness is what every American can't stand about Democratic Party, the Democrats. Democrats sit here pretend, oh my God, the Republicans are such liars. Okay, prove how they lie.
About Medicaid. The Republican budget authorizes up to $880 billion in cuts to Medicaid by directing the Energy and Commerce Committee to find those spending cuts. Everybody knows who has had any connection to the congressional budget that if you are directing the Energy and Commerce Committee to find up to $880 billion, if not more, in spending cuts, that means Medicaid. That will hurt children.
How about the amount of fraudulent payments made in Medicare, Medicaid? There's scams out here that they utilize Medicare, Medicaid. What about wasteful fraud spending? What about wasteful administration, medical administration association fees? I had a whole article about this one time. I did a whole video on this. That there's a lot of fraud in the Medicare budget. And let's say we found $800 billion of fraudulent Medicare payments. What, you wouldn't want that cut? Maybe he has a point. Maybe conservatives are trying to create an incentive where they cut Medicare. But the whole point is to make it more efficient. They're not trying to end it. They're not trying to demolish it. So can Hakeem Jeffries promise us 100% that Medicaid is not being misused, no fraudulent payments are going out? Could he promise that? I don't think he can. I don't think any Democrat can. And this is the point. When you look at the outcomes that Democrats are giving, it's not good ones. You want to defend men who think they're women into playing sports where they can beat the mollywop the hell out of women. Every Democrat voted against it. Make it make sense. Then you got Democrat governors coming out here saying that they want to replace the word mother with inseminated person. Make it make sense. And then they're surprised and have a Pikachu face that their favorability is under 26%. 26%. Oh my God. They wanted illegals in this country, making Americans spend $150 billion a year to maintain illegals in this country instead of deporting them. Like, Democrats only look out for their own interests at this point. And I think this is why they're wildly unpopular.
Democrats should be talking to the American voter about how Donald Trump has not delivered on these key issues. And instead, we are heading towards a potential government shutdown that will only hurt the American people.
It's amazing to me, by the way, we're having this debate because Joe Biden was president for 4 years and ran the country off into the ditch, and that's why Kamala Harris lost the election. And now Donald Trump's been president for about 5 minutes, and Democrats are like, whoa, my gosh, why isn't somebody fixing all the problems we caused? I just don't think voters are that silly, really. I mean, I think they take a longer view of this. His report card will ultimately come in the midterms, which isn't until next year. Until then, he's got to get the Republicans in Congress to come along with him on this reconciliation plan, on extending and making permanent the tax cuts. And then the American people are going to give it a chance to work. But the guy took office in January, and he's trying to unravel a mess that was 4 years in the making. I think he's got a little more leash than maybe you're giving him credit for.
And this is why I said, like, these liberal pundits, man, I part of me feel like they're just lazy, man. They just want to complain. They just trying to find stuff to complain about, gen up fear, gen up outrage. They're trying to create this fake narrative that somehow conservatives are protesting GOP people in town halls, when I'm like, it's more likely that paid activists are sitting in these things with signs. Like, yeah, you're not an undecided voter if you're doing all that. You had a political opinion way before the election, and you're pretending that you're a GOP supporter when there's polls showing that GOP is overwhelmingly behind Donald Trump, especially if they're conservative. 70, it's 70-20 right now. If you're a young man, if you're young, I think what youth vote is like 65% towards Donald Trump, if I remember correctly. If I can find the thing, I probably can't find it in this video here. But the idea that the left is trying to push, I don't think it's working, right? And another reason why, and I'm saying all this because leading up to the joint address, Democrats are planning to boycott it and all this stuff. And I want to highlight this because it seems like liberals are rooting against America. And this is why I was trying to tell my European friends across the pond that liberals do not have America's best interest at heart. If you're agreeing with the liberal, the American ain't agreeing with you. I'm sorry. Because the American liberal routinely votes and roots against the American people. And this is why I said that they're a party of globalists, they're a party of bureaucracy, they're a party that put themselves first at the expense of the American people. Right? Why would you want illegal immigrants here, mass illegal immigration here, if it costs the American taxpayer $150 billion, but then you get mad at Donald Trump because he wants a border wall that costs $10 billion? That don't make sense. The math ain't mathing. The math does add up when you find out that illegals help the Democratic Party's political agenda. And now you see, oh, they see this $150 as worth it. This is why you see Brandon Johnson with a 7% approval rating. Yes, you heard that correctly. 7%. A Chicago mayor, a Democrat Chicago mayor, only has a 7% approval rating. Why? Because he routinely does things at the against the interests of Chicagoans in Chicago. And this is the brand of the Democratic Party that they cannot run away from.
We're seeing that Americans now are looking forward to perhaps a recession.
Can I respond to some of this? I've sat here patiently for this long speech. So it seems to me that Democrats are taking a three-pronged approach at attacking Donald Trump. One is openly rooting for the failure of the United States by wish-casting a recession, which is just an insane political strategy. Number two, wanting to pin their entire political future on keeping government as large or larger than it is now. And number three, continuing to claim that mass deportations or that getting the border under control is somehow a bad policy idea for the United States. I wholeheartedly hope that Maria is appointed to run the Democratic midterm strategy, because if you're rooting for recession, for illegal immigration, and for a larger government, you're going to take a bath next November.
See, this is the problem, because none
And you're also rooting for Mexico and Canada as well.
of that is true, Scott. You know,
I just repeated back to you what you said, and I don't know why you don't agree with it. Those are everything you just
sweetheart.
said.
No, honey, I did not say that I'm rooting for a recession. Economists are the ones who are saying that a recession is coming because Donald Trump has done nothing about it.
Get your pom-poms. Keep rooting for American failure. It's
Jasmine Crockett is rooting for Mexico, rooting for Canada, rooting for things that goes against the Americans' bottom line. And then these countries are going to do what's in the best interest of their people. And for some reason, Democrats are mad that Americans want Trump to do what's in the best interest of Americans. Make it make sense? Hey, I know. And you wonder why your approval ratings is under the water, Democrats. But you know, they ain't going to listen now. They ain't going to listen then. The only time Democrats actually listen is when they actually lose. And even then, they barely listen. Like, he lost 2024. Do you see a shakeup? No. Let's continue resisting Trump instead of understanding, okay, what Trump has that we're missing. What is Trump speaking to that we're missing? Instead, they don't want to change. They just want to stay the same, and that is insanity. But hey, what do you expect from the party of insanity? A party that wants to push a procedure that actually increase depression in the people they supposedly care about. I'm talking about trans individuals, trans-identifying people. Make that make sense. You want a procedure that makes these people you say that you're protecting that would increase depression. And you're mad that the GOP wants to ban it. It seems like the Democrats don't really give a damn about people. They only give a damn about people if it helps their push further their own political agenda. And that's what I've been saying about the idealism of the left. The idealism of the left is a very selfish one. It's a very self-centered one, where they don't care about the collateral damage. They don't care if trans people end up still committing suicide, increase the suicidality, I don't know how to say that word properly, of these trans individuals that they say they want to protect. All they care about is, hey, these trans people want to do it, and they're going to give us political power if we let them do it. So yes, we're going to let them make a procedure that's going to set them up for long-term failure and depression. But hey, as long as they vote for us, we don't care. That's the Democratic Party. Tell me I'm lying. Let me know if I'm lying. Let me know if I'm lying in the comment section. Let me hear your thoughts and perspective. I would like to hear what you guys are thinking about this whole mess, about the messaging that Democrats are trying to put, how Trump's going to do in his joint address. And let me know some of the wins that you're most proud of Donald Trump. Let me know also some of the things that Donald Trump could focus a little bit more on. But, Democrats are giving him cover by just being outright, like just being opposite of him on every issue. So to me, it's hard to really hold Trump at fault for not being able to push his economic agenda when you got Democrats on every corner just blindly trying to oppose him. But I digress. That's just some of my thoughts. I'd like to hear yours in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.